Loving can hurt. Loving can hurt sometimes, but it's the only thing that I know.
Good afternoon. We're coming on the air right now because there have been a series of violent incidents in Paris, France tonight, this Friday evening.
On the evening of Friday, November 13, 2015, a series of coordinated terrorist attacks occurred in Paris. Around 9 o'clock in the evening, 3 suicide bombers struck near France's National Stadium in Saint-Denis, followed by suicide bombings and mass shootings at cafes, restaurants, and a concert hall in Paris.
On entendait tout, on entendait des voix, des tirs. On entendait crier. Le premier message que j'ai envoyé, c'était à mes parents. Je vais mourir, je vous aime.
The attackers killed 130 people, including 89 at the Bataclan Theatre. 368 people were injured. These attacks were the deadliest in France since World War II, and the deadliest in the European Union since the Madrid train attacks in 2004.
Mes chers compatriotes, ce qui s'est produit hier à Paris et à Saint-Denis, près du Stade de France, c'est un acte de guerre. La France, parce qu'elle a été agressée lâchement, honteusement, violemment, la France sera impitoyable.
After Paris attacks, people across the globe became overwhelmed by anger and desire to revenge, and some politicians took advantage of it. For instance, the leader of France's far-right National Front Party, Marine Le Pen, used the horrific attacks on Paris to push her right-wing brand of politics. Urgent action is needed, she said. France must ban Islamist organizations, close radical mosques, and expel foreigners who preach hatred in our country, as well as illegal migrants who have nothing to do here. France and French people are no longer safe. Islamic extremism must be crushed. Earlier this year, on October 31, 2015, Russian flight crashed in the Sinai Peninsula in Egypt, killing 224 people on board. When Islamic State has asserted responsibility for destroying Russian charter jet, President Vladimir Putin publicly vowed revenge on the attackers. In response to the massacre in Paris and the downed plane in Egypt, Russia and France took steps toward a united military front against Islamic State. Putin said Moscow was ready to unite with Paris against a mutual enemy, and both countries intensified their military action in Syria as allies. However, questions about the effectiveness of the increased airstrikes were raised. Some reports suggest that despite heavy bombardment, the targets bombed by French warplanes were mostly abandoned by ISIS fighters, and that Russia's air campaign has killed hundreds of civilians and caused massive destruction in residential areas. In the days following Paris terrorist attacks, French police initiated an international manhunt for suspects. On the 18th of November, police launched an assault on Saint-Denis apartment where ISIS terrorists were holed up. 3 people were killed in the raid, including suspected attack organizer.
French security services have netted perhaps their most dangerous suspect, Abdelhamid Abaoud, the alleged ringleader, confirmed killed in a furious gun battle with police on Wednesday.
Abdul Hamid Abaoud has been pinging really brightly on law enforcement and intelligence agencies' radar all year long. This 27-year-old Belgian guy turns up a lot in the news and in police reports as named suspect and in terrorist propaganda. All year long, he's been pinging like a sunrise on the radar. All year long, while he has not been caught.
Another terrorist, suicide bomber, Sami Amamu, has been wanted for terrorism since 2013, but was able to get back into France undetected, to take part in the attack on the Bataclan concert hall. And hours after killings, police stopped third suspect, but for some reasons let him go.
Police continue to search for at least one suspected attacker, still at large and still dangerous.
Why no one did anything before? Why no one stopped the terrorist on the loose? Why police officers who stopped the car with the terrorist, checked his ID and let him go? Bureaucrats in Europe and Russia are doing their jobs equally badly. It is beneficial for them if people believe that the cause of terrorist acts is intolerance and freedom, not the failure of the bureaucracy. Incompetent politicians convince people that the problems created by them can be solved at the expense of freedom. Russian people sacrificed many freedoms so that Putin could ensure their safety. But did it actually work? Ask people who died in plane crash in Egypt. Ask those who died in Nordost Theater, in school in Beslan, in subway explosions. People in Moscow feel no safer than people in Paris. Today France is facing the same choice that Russia faced in 2000, when terrorists blew up apartment buildings in Moscow. Russians chose a strong leader, however their lives didn't become safer. Instead, they got less freedom. So today, we look at France with the hope that it will show the world how free people can protect themselves without giving up their values. And we see such examples.
I will remember how you kissed me under the lamppost back on 6th Street, hearing you whisper through the phone, wait for me to come home.
On Friday night, you stole away the life of an exceptional being, the love of my life, the mother of my son, but you will not have my hatred. I do not know who you are, and I don't want to know. You are dead souls. If the God for whom you killed so blindly made us in his image, each bullet in my wife's body would have been a wound in his heart. Therefore, I will not give you the gift of hating you. You have obviously sought it, but responding to it with anger would be to give in to the same ignorance that has made you what you are. You want me to be afraid, to cast a mistrustful eye on my fellow citizens, to sacrifice my freedom for security, you lost. Same player, same game.